an entertainer from a foreign country, a YouTube channel that highlights violence against peaceful people, all for the sake of comedy. Did you know it's super hilarious that your friend, Auditor Troll, in fact, and admittedly, hired a guy by the name of Jeff Little to follow me? Not just follow me, but stalk me. So if you don't like offensive language, you should leave the room now, or stick your fingers deep into your ears as I cite an email. The email is titled Denver Police Conduct, and it comes from an email address, your 1A rights. You and that taco Cordova have with public employees for the last time. You will take down your channels or the following will happen. Guess who's responsible for releasing all that information? Sheridan PD.
Let's talk about the First Amendment.
Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. This is News Now Ninja, and today's video comes to you from Englewood, Colorado on June 3rd, 2024, where Regan and Denver Metro audits confront the city council for their bad actions. And you know that there's always going to be a bootlicker. But I want you to let me know what you think about this video in the comments section. Shout out to Regan and Denver Metro for standing their ground and speaking up. All original links will be in the description, and let's get straight to the action.
Hello, Jennifer. If you could just state your name and your address or cross streets.
Jennifer Lambert. I'm at Cherokee and Lehigh. I want to start tonight by acknowledging the fact that while I'm addressing all of council, my comments today are spurred by recent public interactions between Mayor Pro Tem, Councilmember Ward, and the self-named First Amendment auditors who have been present in our city. I want to be clear that I hold the greatest respect for both of you. And though what I have to say tonight might be hard to hear, or you might not agree with it, know that it's said in that spirit. General Charles de Gaulle once said, "Silence is the ultimate weapon of power." I'm here tonight to ask in the strongest of terms that City Council hold its silence in responding to these so-called First Amendment auditors. Their stated goal is to put governmental officials in situations where these officials might restrict their freedoms of speech and press. They claim to do this ostensibly to protect constitutional rights on behalf of all citizens. But they do not get to say that they behave the way that they do on my behalf. They do not get to co-opt my voice. So I am here tonight as a resident of Englewood to use my voice to say that these interactions are harming our community and they need to stop. Let's talk about the First Amendment. I believe that the original intent of the freedoms of speech and press were enacted to allow each of us as free humans to stand and speak truth to power. That we might be able to say things that may be rebellious or subversive or downright revolutionary without threat from the government to our lives or our property. All of what I have heard from these auditors subjugating our city council meetings are doing none of those things. In fact, what they say is nonsense.
That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
So when city council members engage with them, whether during a city council meeting or on any other platform, you're giving them relevance and power that they do not inherently have. Freedom of speech also protects your right to speak in defense of yourself. But I would posit that you need no defending. You are currently public servants. You have been asked by the people of Englewood to serve this community, and that role is special. It's so much bigger than the egos that you would seek to defend. I want to note here that I use the word egos in the yogic sense. The ego is a feature that all humans have. It is an identity through which we interact with the world. When you choose to accept the appointment to public service, you choose to be in service to something bigger than yourself and these identities. In this case, that purpose is the city of Englewood. During the city council meetings that I have watched or attended, I have seen Englewood citizens speak about myriads of legitimate concerns that warrant attention more than these auditors. When city council members give relevance and power to auditors, you remove relevance and power from Englewood citizens that come to speak their concerns to the people they elected to represent them and their interests. Before I wrap up, I want to talk about behavior. As a student of psychology, I know that a behavior will continue as far as a behavior is rewarded. However, when seeking to extinguish a behavior by taking away the reward, there is a period of time where the behavior will escalate before it extinguishes. I imagine that when you remove the reward of your attention and engagement, that the auditor's behavior will escalate. I ask that in response you hold strong and give nothing worthwhile to post on their forums. If their behavior escalates to harassment and this harassment is verbal, then it should be ignored. I know that this aspect is hard, and at the same time it is necessary. Their verbal escalations are designed to provoke reactions. Don't give in. My ask in concrete terms is that during council meetings, your response be thank you for your concerns and nothing else. Outside of city council meetings, be bigger, be stronger, and let your silence resound.
Jennifer, thank you very much for your time tonight. Any questions for members of council? Seeing none, Jennifer, thank you again.
Thank you.
Hello, dearly beloved. We are gathered here tonight to get through this thing called life. Hopefully we all live through it with the jokey jokesters from the hashtag Stephen Joe Show, with special guest appearance from Sean Lewis, the city manager who's currently being ran by the employees of Inglewood's control freak factory known as the Inglewood Public Library, where you too can ban anyone from the public library and then get the cops to validate your hurt feelings over a camera by staking claim you're a victim of a camera. Hey, Sean, that was a super cute little no recording on public property administrative order thingy you tried to emulate off the good work of Devin Granberry. It was so cute. You guys like my acting? Oh my God, this is so fun. I can't wait for more. I cannot wait for you guys to demand your esteemed Inglewood PD use violence on us. Keep giggling, Joey boy, to keep us from recording. On the topic of perpetuating and supporting violence against peaceful people, it's what is the supported climate and culture of only in America, where physically assaulting people because you don't like what they have to say is the common norm. It's more commonly known now as police violence, and it's cheered and celebrated when the police use violence on people for their speech. Don't think so? Oh yeah, it's true. Well, I have to share my lively arrest history with you next time, Joe, and you'll be so pleasantly shocked how many of my cases have ended up dismissed and how federal lawsuits against real bad actors come to light. Some people are in love with the idea of violence against women due to their spoken words. However, we are all now certainly no strangers to the ongoing victimization that the Stephen Joe Show have now subscribed to with honor, and Joe's willingness to stand by his dedicated spirit of free speech to do it again on a channel that highlights violence on people with cameras. An entertainer from a foreign country, a YouTube channel that highlights violence against peaceful people, all for the sake of comedy. Did you know it's super hilarious that your friend, Auditor Troll, in fact, and admittedly hired a guy by the name of Jeff Little to follow me? Not just follow me, but stalk me. Giggle, Joe, come on, giggle. It's funny as hell. Well, this is about to get super comedic as it gets. So if you don't like offensive language, you should leave the room now or stick your fingers deep into your ears as I cite an email that was sent to Christopher Cordova and I. It's gonna get spicy, Mayor. The email is titled Denver Police Conduct, and it comes from an email address, fuckyour1arights at Proton Mail. The contents of the email, and I quote, "Here's the deal. We're tired of your attitude. Come on, Joe, giggle. It's funny." Let me get back to the quote. "You and that taco nigger Cordova have fucked with public employees for the last time. You will take down your channels or the following will happen. Number one, Regan Benson will be doxxed, including her social security number on Troll Mafia, to prove I'm not fucking around. And they cited my social security number, and it's the right number. Number two, they cite, I will personally murder every one of you in public, given your cunt behavior. I doubt Sheridan PD will lift a finger and a jury won't convict me. Are you guys getting those kinds of emails? Probably not, huh? Guess who's responsible for releasing all that information? Sheridan PD. And they just did it again. Less than 2 weeks ago, after your punk ass shit show
Ms.
on
Benson.
Christopher and myself. This is what you two perpetuate. It's what you want. You want violence on peaceful people for speech. And you're worried about Saucy? Really, Mayor? You're worried about Saucy. How hilarious is all of it? Your evidence preservation demand letter, Joe, is sitting with the clerk since you failed to acknowledge it via email, since you've interjected yourself into a criminal case that your stupid cops generated
Regan,
on
your
me.
5 minutes are up. Thank you for your time. Any questions for Regan? Thank you again for your time tonight. Up next is Chris Cordova, here to address council. Chris, if you could just state your name and your address or cross streets.
I don't know who is the one that's responsible for the timer, but there's a lot of inconsistencies last time. And I know you guys were talking about changing the rule, but to my knowledge, it's still that it should start after the speaker says their name and cross streets, or they just start their speech like I did. The first speaker last time, their timer started 32 seconds after he said his name and address. And I know he had a thumb drive to plug in, but after he started his presentation, the timer started 17 seconds later. There were several people who their time started after they said their name and not the address. Some people had, there was one lady who had her timer started when she was in the middle of her name. And my time actually started after Mayor Sierra asked me to say my name and address. I didn't even speak yet and my timer got started. I lost 4 seconds. Regan Benson also lost 4 seconds because her timer started after she said the word good when she was doing a mic check by saying, good evening, can you hear me? So I think we need to be more consistent on that, guys. And Regan Benson and I lost the most time. I don't know if, you probably say, oh, that wasn't intentional, but out of all the people that either gained or lost time, I mean, we got the biggest shaft, so. But I would like to start by thanking the 3 ladies on my right. Ms. Prang isn't here, but I would like to thank you ladies for standing up to this bully over here. I know that takes a lot of courage to do. And Ms. Prang, I know I was teasing you a little bit last time, so thank you. But I did a public records request on JoeAnderson and Steve Ward and their emails because I wanted to see if there's anything that would link them to this troll channel. And there was no responsive records. So if that's true, that means JoeAnderson, you're the one that reached out to them. And I say you because I'm pretty sure you're the ringleader, not Steve. And Steve, I'll be honest with you, I don't think you're an evil person. I really don't. I think that you have good intentions. I really do. I think you're misinformed and you make really poor decisions. And yeah, you piss me off a lot. But that's how I feel about this council. You guys are not as bad as Sheridan. I mean, that's not saying much because it doesn't take too much to be better than Sheridan, but you're not. Except for JoeAnderson, though. You'd fit right in with them. You are a very dark energy, low vibrational soul disguised as a pastor. And I came to that conclusion by that stupid smirk that's on your face right now, the same one that you had the entire time last time, right? Because you loved it. And I was thinking, why would he reach out to this troll channel? He knows it's going to get me back up here, but then it hit me. That's what you want, right? You love the attention. You love it. Because you're a narcissist. And narcissists love attention, whether it's good or bad. So it reminded me of a kid who gave up candy for Lent. And then finally he got to have his first lollipop. Yeah, he's back, right? So after you turned this city council meeting into a Jerry Springer show, you said, quote, they test the boundaries of what they can get away with. You can't get away with rights. You said they try to find something that's legal, but that they can provoke a reaction from. Like Jennifer Lambert said that too, so. But that's also a narcissistic trait. You see, I don't provoke reactions. I go and I peacefully record. And if somebody else is going to get irate and then blame me, that's called blame shifting. It's a narcissistic trait. Miss Lambert, she might suffer from that too. So I absolutely do not provoke reactions. I really don't. And even if I was provoking a reaction, just for the sake of the argument, you sure as hell give me a good reaction, don't you, Joe? And I don't even want to keep coming back here. I know that's what you want, so hopefully I won't have to come back because, you know, it's very high stress to come here. It really is. And like Ms. Prank said, now we're wasting how many tax dollars on all this extra security? We had 4 officers here last time, right? Because you guys need security because you guys did something foolish. You're making a mockery of this city council, right? Not us, not Ms. Benson and I. You know, you guys are. And your colleagues see right through it. You're not fooling anyone. I don't think you're trying to fool anyone. You're just scumbag and you're happy about it. And it's really sad. I think that there is a lot of hope for a lot of these people out here. Ms. Niles, even Mr. Lewis. I mean, I'm pissed off about that administrative order. I don't know if that's going to be going through, but that's a terrible thing that you would do that. But again, I don't think you're quite as bad as Cranberry yet, but so I just wanted to put that on the record, you know, that we're not here to provoke a reaction, okay? And exercising your rights is not getting away with anything, Mr. Anderson.
Chris, your 5 minutes are up. Any questions for Chris Cordova? Seeing none, thank you very much for your time.
Once again, a huge shout out to Denver Metro Audits and Regan for standing up to speak against the city council that's working with trolls in an attempt to violate freedom. Make sure to get to the links in the description for their channels and subscribe if you haven't already. Link is in the description for the entirety of this video. Don't forget to leave a comment and let them know how you feel, and I'll see you on the next one.